If you find value in our content, please like this video and subscribe to the Proctor Mindset channel. By doing so, you'll join a community dedicated to unlocking their full potential. Your support and engagement mean so much to us and allow us to continue providing these insights. Hello, and a very warm welcome to all of our amazing viewers. We truly appreciate you taking the time to join us today. I also want to express my sincere gratitude for the dedication and hard work of my team. They pour their hearts into every video, ensuring we deliver high-quality, impactful content to you. Thank you. It's possible to earn more money while you're sleeping than you do during your most difficult working hours. This might sound unsettling, but it speaks to the deep influence of your mind and how it's programmed at night. This is far from the usual deceptive schemes and impossible promises you often hear about. It challenges the idea that prosperity only comes from hard work. In fact, that same hard work might be what's holding you back from wealth. Your mind stays active, even while you're resting. This is a period when most people miss out on immense opportunities. Your subconscious mind is tireless. It organizes information, builds connections, and absorbs your daytime experiences. The key is to be mindful of what you're feeding your mind before you sleep. If your thoughts are consumed by debt, conflict, disappointment, work problems, and failure, you're giving those things to your subconscious. It processes them all night, so you wake up feeling drained, confused, and with no new ideas. This is a subtle cycle that keeps countless people stuck for years. However, you can change this. You can turn your mind into a source of wealth, even while you sleep. This is something I discovered not from books, but from my own personal experience. For a long time, I was a workaholic. I was convinced that success was all about working harder, sleeping less, and trying to do more. All this led to was burnout, disappointment, a lack of direction, and limited resources. That's when I realized my mind was still active even after the lights went out. It seemed logical to use that to my advantage. I started with a simple question. Every night before I fell asleep, I took a moment to breathe deeply and ask myself, how can I make more money easily and creatively? I didn't force a reply or look for an answer. I just let the question sit there, like a seed I'd planted. Ideas began to appear at the most unexpected times. A solution in the shower. A revelation over coffee. A project name while I was driving. These ideas were focused, useful, and full of promise. I realized that by going to sleep with a clear intention, my mind would work on solutions all night, as if I had hired the best strategist in the world to work tirelessly and in silence. Science supports this. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker from the University of California has shown that during sleep, the brain enters a state of hyperconnectivity. It connects the dots, links information, and boosts creativity. This is when moments of pure genius happen. Great minds like Thomas Edison, Salvador Dali, and Paul McCartney have said that their best work came to them during deep relaxation or in that twilight state, where true genius lives. This is when you turn off the noise of the world and access the endless intelligence inside you. Have you ever woken up with an idea so brilliant that it felt like it was whispered to you while you were asleep? Without knowing where it came from? That wasn't a coincidence. That was your mind giving you answers you didn't even know you were looking for. If it's happened to you even once, imagine what could happen if you did it on purpose. The best time to plant this seed is in the last 5 minutes before you fall asleep. This is when your brain is most open to instructions, suggestions, and deep intentions. If you obsess over problems, worries, and negative thoughts, your mind will work on them all night long. But if you plant a creative, positive, and constructive question, your mind will work on it, finding ways, people, and solutions. You'll wake up on a new level. Your mind, which was once a pit of worries, becomes a fertile field of possibilities. I can tell you for sure that many lucrative projects were born this way. Not in front of a spreadsheet, but while relaxed, at peace, with eyes closed. The idea came through clearly, like a gift. It all began with a single question asked at the right time. This isn't magic, it's a method. It starts with the decision to stop wasting your nights on thoughts that keep you stuck. Because while you sleep, you can either set yourself free or sink even deeper. The choice is yours. So, what will you feed your mind tonight? Will it be fear or possibility? Ultimately, it's not about how you sleep, it's about what you're programming for the next morning. For a long time, I was a slave to the idea that to make more money, I had to work harder, sacrifice more, sleep less, and just grind. Yet, money still slipped through my fingers. I couldn't understand how some people were so successful with such ease, while I was burdened day after day. It wasn't until the pain became unbearable that I realized what was holding me back wasn't a lack of effort, but how I saw things. Perception is the key word. Everything changed the day I understood that my reality was just a reflection of how I interpreted the world. The change didn't start on the outside, it started on the inside, and that changes everything. Have you ever wondered how many times you've reacted to a situation based on fear, scarcity, or powerlessness? How many times have you seen an opportunity and thought, that's not for me? How many times have you seen a price and said, that's too expensive? How many times have you killed a dream before even trying because your vision of yourself was too small to have it? I'm not judging you, because I was exactly the same. I saw the world through the eyes of limitation, and everything around me reflected it: debt, insecurity, and a fear of failure. Then one day, in a moment of deep frustration, I did something simple. I wrote my biggest problems on a piece of paper and put it in the center of the table. I walked away and looked at it as if I were looking at someone else's problems. I asked myself, is this problem in me, or is it on the paper? It sounds silly, but in that moment, I pulled myself out of the chaos. For the first time, I had clarity and realized that the problem was how I looked at everything. I had confused myself with the problem. I had become the problem. Most people live in this state. They don't see the world as it is, they see the world as they are. That's a profound thought. Because if you see yourself as limited, small, in debt, and lost, that's how the world will treat you. That's who you'll attract: the people, the proposals, and the situations. The outside world is just a mirror. It only reflects what you project. Do you want an example? Two people can be in the exact same financial situation, with the same debts, the same income, and the same circumstances. One despairs, the other sees a chance to start something new. The first one becomes paralyzed, the second one takes action. The first one repeats old patterns, the second one asks different questions. The difference between them isn't in their bank account, it's in their perception. I remember a conversation with my friend Peggy McCall. She told me she'd seen her dream house, but it was $1 million more than she could afford. I replied, then make that million look small. She laughed, but she took it seriously. Together, we created an event. Do you know what happened? We made $1 million because she decided to change how she saw the challenge. She didn't see an obstacle, she saw an incentive, an invitation to grow. That choice of perception made all the difference. Now, let me ask you. What have you decided is impossible in your life? What dream have you given up on because it seemed too expensive, too big, or too bold? Have you ever thought that maybe it wasn't the dream that was out of your reach, but your perspective that was limited? Most of us have been trained to think of our littles as being enough. We've been taught to be wary of those who have a lot, to believe that money corrupts, that ambition is a sin, and that wanting more is selfish. All the while, our perception has been shaped to keep us in an invisible box, a box where we learn to survive but never to prosper. But here is the truth. Perception can be trained. You can change it, and it all starts with asking different questions. Instead of "why is this so expensive?" ask yourself, "how can I make this affordable?" Instead of saying, "that's not for me," say, "what do I need to do to make this mine?" These are the questions that open doors in your mind. And when your mind expands, your reality has no choice but to expand with it. A study in the Journal of Economic Psychology showed that people who believe in their ability to become wealthy are up to 4 times more likely to actually improve their lives than those who feel limited. 4 times more. This has nothing to do with physical effort. It has to do with what you believe is possible, with the lens you choose to use. The moment you change the lens, the world changes. Opportunities appear, ideas connect, the right people show up, and it all starts with an internal decision. The decision to see with the eyes of possibility, not the eyes of fear. At the end of the day, it's not what happens on the outside that stops you from prospering. It's how you interpret what's happening. Change that, and you change everything. Most people aren't stuck due to a lack of talent or opportunity. They're stuck in an invisible prison built inside their own minds. And that prison has a name: conditioning. You can have an excellent idea, you can have a plan, you can even have the courage to start. But if, deep down in your subconscious, there's a belief that you don't deserve to prosper, that success is dangerous, or that money drives people away, you will sabotage yourself. You'll make bad decisions, you'll put off what you need to do, you'll refuse opportunities, and you'll find an unconscious way to go back to where you feel safe. That place is often one of struggle. I went through this personally. After I made my first large amount of money, something inside me started to stir. It was a strange feeling, like I was in a place where I didn't belong. I felt uncomfortable, maybe even guilty. A part of me said, "You aren't this guy." Without even realizing it, I started to behave in ways that would pull me back down. I began turning down good opportunities, getting distracted by small problems, and wasting energy on things that didn't matter. It was like I was trying to get back to the level I saw as my right place. Success had arrived, but my self-image was still that of a broken person. This happens to more people than you can imagine. How many times have you caught yourself thinking that a certain lifestyle isn't for you? That certain places, clothes, or values belong to a different type of person. That's not humility, it's self-sabotage disguised as modesty. It comes from the messages you received throughout your life. Phrases like, money is dirty, people with a lot of money aren't honest, rich people are arrogant, or those who get rich quickly lose everything. These settle into your subconscious as absolute truths. Without you knowing it, you start avoiding what you desire most. Here's something many people don't understand. The problem isn't the money. The problem is the meaning you've given it. If you believe that having money will distance you from your family, make you lose friends, or turn you into a selfish person, your mind will fight with all its might to keep you from prosperity. It will believe it's protecting you. This is biological. Studies in neuroeconomics show that when the brain links wealth to emotional danger, it activates areas related to self-defense, as if you were under threat. In other words, for some people, earning money triggers an internal self-protection mechanism. They freeze and pull back. The most incredible part is, they don't even realize they're doing it. I've seen this happen to so many people in my life. Some had everything they needed to prosper: talent, ideas, and connections. But deep down, they didn't believe they deserved it. And so, every time they were about to make a big leap, something would happen. A problem would arise, a conflict would appear, an opportunity would slip through their fingers, and they'd go back to the exact same place, the same income, the same struggle, as if they were caught in an invisible loop. A striking example is Oprah Winfrey, one of the most successful women in history. Yet, she revealed in interviews that she spent years feeling guilty about her success. She felt guilty for overcoming obstacles that so many others couldn't. She said she felt she didn't deserve it all, and it almost destroyed her career. It was only after doing deep work to rebuild her self-image that she could truly grow, without guilt or fear. Now, answer me honestly. Do you feel uncomfortable just thinking about having a lot more? Have you ever found yourself shrinking your dreams so you don't bother anyone? Have you ever been afraid of being successful and losing the admiration of those around you? This is more common than it seems. Many of these beliefs come from childhood, from how your parents talked about money, and from conversations you heard at school, in church, or on television. All of this has shaped how you see yourself in relation to abundance. As long as these beliefs aren't challenged, they'll continue to govern your life without you even knowing it. But here is a liberating truth. You don't have to carry this burden anymore. You can prosper without guilt. You can grow without pushing people away. You can have money and still be generous and humble. Money doesn't change who you are, it just amplifies it. If you're a good person, money will make you even more generous. If you have good intentions, it will give you the means to do even more. If you love to help, it will give you the power to transform lives beyond your own. This isn't just a feel-good talk. It's a call, an invitation, for you to stop fighting against what you want. It's an invitation to allow prosperity to come to you because you deserve it, not for what you do, but for who you are. When you understand this, everything changes. Money stops being a battle and becomes a natural consequence of your most authentic self. And that's what I wish for you. Not just that you learn to attract money, but that you finally allow yourself to truly receive it, without fear, without guilt, and with joy. There is an invisible seed you can plant every night before you sleep. A seed that, if chosen wisely, begins to sprout while you rest. When you wake up, you'll notice that something has changed. You can't always explain what it is, but you can feel it. You wake up with a new idea, a different impulse, or a clarity that wasn't there the day before. This all happens because your subconscious never stops. It works in silence, away from the noise of your routine, away from outside demands, and away from your own self-censorship. If you give it a clear direction before you sleep, it will obey. The right question asked at the right time can be worth more than months of misdirected effort. That's why many years ago, I created a small nighttime ritual. It's a simple habit that has transformed how I create, earn money, and solve problems. Every night before I fall asleep, I close my eyes and let a question echo in my mind. Not as a desperate plea, but as someone who is planting an intention. Questions like, how can I make more income with what I already know? Or, what can I create today that will continue to pay me tomorrow? Or even, how can I be of use to more people without working more hours? These questions don't have an immediate answer, and that's the whole point. The magic isn't in finding the answer right away. The magic is in allowing your subconscious to process, connect, and build the answer for you while you sleep. This is exactly how many of my most profitable ideas came to me. They didn't come when I was looking at a spreadsheet or in the middle of a meeting. They came when I was relaxed, at peace, in a state of receptiveness. One of my most profitable ideas came to me during a moment of rest. I was reading quietly when I had a simple idea, how to teach perception in a practical way. This idea became a course, then it became a conference, and it ended up being a source of income that lasted for years. It all began with a simple, honest question, planted at the right time. Science has now proven what ancient wisdom has always known. Studies from the University of California have shown that when we are in a relaxed state, especially right before sleep, the brain enters a phase of hyperconnectivity. It can link seemingly unrelated ideas, access information archived for years, and turn it all into profound insights. It's as if, in that moment, you get access to a part of your mental power that stays locked away during the day, when the world's noise dominates your attention. You don't have to be a genius to make this work. You don't have to be a meditation expert or a personal development guru. You just have to be ready to make a conscious choice, a simple choice. Instead of going to bed carrying the weight of your problems, choose to go to bed with an intention, a powerful question, or a positive command. Something that guides your mind towards solutions, not worries. Now, think with me. How many nights of your life have you wasted going to sleep on autopilot? Taking the same thoughts of scarcity, frustration, and discouragement to bed with you. How many times have you woken up the next day feeling like nothing had changed, because in reality, nothing had changed? You fed the same pattern, and you got the same result. What if you decided to break that pattern? What if, for 7 nights in a row, you chose to plant a new seed before you went to sleep? A question, a new direction. This may seem too simple to be true, but it's that very simplicity that makes it so powerful. It's not about technique, it's about awareness and intention. Imagine if every night, thousands of people all over the world decided to program their minds with questions like, what can I create today that will keep paying me tomorrow? Or how can I turn my knowledge into something valuable for the world? The impact of that would be immense. This simple practice has the power to align your subconscious with your truest desires. When that happens, you stop going in circles and start moving towards what really matters. You start attracting valuable ideas. You start noticing opportunities that you'd missed before. You start connecting with the right people at the right time. Most importantly, you start acting from a place of inspiration, not desperation. That's when abundance starts to flow. I know this might sound too spiritual for some, but it isn't. It's neuroscience, it's focus, and it's mental discipline. If you want to see if it works, you don't need to believe me. You just need to try it. Tonight, before you close your eyes, choose your question. Do it with intention. Feel that it's important, and then let go. Trust. Don't try to control it. Just go to sleep with that seed planted. When the ideas start to appear, because they will, write them down. Even if they seem small, even if they seem silly. Because great ideas sometimes show up disguised as insignificant flashes. If you respect each of them, you'll realize that your mind can be your greatest asset. You don't need to work harder. You need to think better. You need to feel differently. You need to act from a deeper place. And it all starts in a place as simple as your pillow. What you do with your mind while you're asleep can determine what you achieve when you wake up. Your mind never sleeps, and it can be trained to work for you even while you rest. It all begins with a question, an intention, a seed planted at the right time. When you learn to use this consciously, you'll start to realize that the answers you've been looking for on the outside have been inside you all along, waiting for the right moment to grow. So, if this has resonated with you today, keep going, because the next step is right there, and it will take you even further. The video that's now on your screen is the next stage in your evolution. In it, you'll expand your perception even more and access a new level of understanding, one that will bring you closer to the life you truly deserve to live. Thank you for being here with me. I'll see you there. We'll take another step in your development and get you a little closer to your full potential. I can't wait to see you in the next video.